Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill, this is ANOW and it's ANOW Profile. Today's guest is a Finnish musician and an actor, aged 34. His career has spanned over 15 years as a professional creative. He has released 4 studio albums. As of the summer of 2017, he reached the apex of his musical career. At the Helsinki Flow Festival in August, he was one of the most popular yet unexpected favorite artists, somewhat overshadowing Aphex Twin, Goldfrapp and Frank Oceans. Welcome, Reino Nordin.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Why don't we start there, because Helsinki Flow Festival is a bit of a cultural
it has become, like
alternative thing.
Yeah, it is. It's an alternative thing, and that is also fun to see that I was no longer an alternative artist. I was like a emergency pop artist, just to pop up, because I happened to have a free day, and then they called me up and I smashed the tent. So it was nice.
Tell us a little bit about that, because you were booked.
I was booked like Thursday evening because Beth Ditto got sick for some reason, and they sent a message that she can't, sorry she can't come, and then they started fussing around, and then I got a message from a sales guy that hey, would you like to take this Young Thug slot in 7:15 p.m. in the big tent? And I was like, well, I don't have anything else to do, so why not?
So Young Thug was
yeah, he was supposed to be there, and then Young Thug took the place of Beth Ditto, and I took the place of Young Thug. And it happened so that I had a bigger audience than he had in the main stage.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's super funny, and I mean, Helsinki is my place in many ways. Last summer already, I think I had like 15 shows in the span of the couple of months summer in Helsinki, and they were all full. And I remember my sales guy a couple of years telling me, like, you can't sell so many shows in Helsinki because people get bored and you can't sell. And I'm like, I'll show you, and I did. So it's super nice. And then a week before the Flow Festival, they had the Weekend Festival, which is more like a EDM festival. And
electronic music.
Exactly, and I had the same, actually the different 10,000 people there watching me. So I was super happy about having like 2 main stages in 1 week in Helsinki, and both were packed.
It is true, isn't it, that, as I said, that you are now at the apex of your musical career.
Yes, for sure.
You are if there is one Finnish artist domestically, it's you.
Yeah, I mean, there's like ones that have been around for a few years, and there's this Antti Tuisku, and but like the style of music I'm doing, I have no competition at the moment in my area, because somehow I created my own space there.
Yes.
And it's a really fun thing, and it's also like it has many like phenomenons around it, which are so like particular into my stuff, and people are saying, like, I don't listen to Finnish stuff, but I listen to your stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yee. So I somehow I made a small hole into the pop scene and went in and found a big empty room filled with like possibilities.
Now, of course, the Finnish language has fascinated people previously. It's not like it's existed outside of the cultural scene. Tolkien, for example, Lord of the Rings and so on.
It's a weird
But I've been wondering, being a foreigner in this country, if that music being sung in Finnish, couldn't it be interesting to an international audience? And I would wager that especially some of your songs could.
Especially like Estonia, I have a friend working in the Live Nation Baltic, which is Live Nation is my sales agency in Finland, and also one of the biggest in the world, I guess.
Yes,
they have like there's a lot of people, because we went there for some for a student thing, that we went to Hotel Viru in Tallinn, and then we got into 3 local papers who were saying, hey, Finnish people look fresh and they're not totally drunk, and there's young people and they're happy and the music is good. So it was like they were like surprised, and they wrote about it like in a really positive way in a couple of the local magazines, and it seems that, and also this Hello Helsinki, which is a big band in Finland, they made a big show in the Saku Arena, or Saku, I don't know, it's a Saku Hall or something. But there's like the youngsters are doing a nice cultural exchange between Estonia and Finland, and then the language in Estonia is so similar that they can catch it. So that's like a natural first step. But then there's people coming to my Instagram like from Brazil, like I don't catch a word you say, but it sounds so good.
Exactly.
And this is beautiful, and I love it because for me as a musician, this is something like onomatopoetic or something like that.
Yeah.
They just catch the flow and your vibe in it, and it's super interesting. Like it could be like an exotic sales product.
No, I'd wager that. I think that there is something interesting in the fact that it is produced, and it's maybe one important question for international music at the moment, pop music, is that it's authentic.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, and that's something which is.
Few things could be more authentic than this obscure, strange language of Finnish.
Yeah. And I think that's one of my powers also, which is funny because I'm totally in Finland. I'm a pop artist at the moment, but I'm in an independent label.
Yeah.
I have big promotion because it's such a small country. It's easy to have it because my indie label is under the JVG, the most popular rap duo, or like, but they're like pop rap duo.
Here they're pronounced JVG.
JVG, exactly. And the promotion I get from these guys is like in a pop level, but then we share the money just 50-50. It's an independent deal. I shouldn't say the numbers, but anyway, anybody knows who knows. It's not like you get 10% and they take the rest.
Yeah.
So it's super like beautiful way to break through is to never change your jacket, or in a way like you say in Finnish, or like to how to say to give away anything important, like artistically.
Yes. Okay.
That this all the ideas and all the style and the whole thing comes from the artists, and of course now I have a bigger team and everything, but the leader is me, so it's super beautiful for the art, and it's super authentic.
Yes.
And it's a weird combination of a regular guy and a popular thing.
No, of course. But one of the reasons, but that's true.
Yeah.
And it strikes me that there's so much talent in Finland.
Yeah.
I'm not excluding yourself from that category. Quite contrary.
In the music business,
in the music
especially.
Industry, and of course there is perhaps the main international export. At the moment is Alma.
Yeah, exactly.
She sings in English.
Yeah, and she's from our record company.
And
suddenly.
she's from your
label.
From your label.
Yeah.
But how come you and others don't produce more in English?
Exactly. This is something
because I'd like to get into a bit more about your own influences, which is partly reggae, which is of course English and international.
And there's lots of English in my influences, and my mother used to play me like mostly like Michael Jackson and Funkadelics and like really like, and also like but mostly English stuff, and like if not totally, because we never listened to any Finnish music at home.
Yeah.
But then in this market I feel like it's nice to sing in Finnish for the Finnish people, and it's a Finnish thing, but I have a huge dream of going abroad with English stuff, and I have these young EDM producers who are making like stuff like Alex Matson, and then there's some more unknown names who have been like, and also even the Ville Virtanen, the Darude guy who had the Sandstorm mega hit.
You cannot seriously pronounce it Darude. You have to say Darude.
Darude, yeah. Anyway, but Darude. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, Darude.
Freestyler and all.
Yeah, and like I've been really begging for them to like, hey, let's do something English, because I know that it's
maybe
not,
together.
Yeah, and it's like it's such a small thing to. You just walk through the door and do an English song, and I've written English songs, and we did the ice hockey anthem for the under 20-year-olds ice hockey championship in Helsinki, and we won gold with that song. And this song has been played in Ontario Hockey League, in NHL, even in KHL, because it became a hockey song in English, and nobody noticed that there's a problem. So this is like a really nice living proof of the possibilities. If you just make it, and there's you can and especially if you do a song, if you have a pronunciation problem, you just fix it in the studio and make it done, and nobody cares if you speak a little rally English in the interviews or something. And when you look at Alma, I'm like really so happy for her to see how she's rocking the lists and everything, and getting so much nice attention, because this is something I have a really big dream of going there. And also Spanish is the other language I'd love to. And I have one of my old songs called The Sun, in Finnish in Aurinko, which we translate. My wife, who is she's a half Catalan lady from Barcelona, Kuopio, Barcelona, which is a crazy combination.
It's a classic combination.
Yeah, but then she translated the song in Spanish, and you can find it in Spotify. And anybody who can speak Castellano is like, whenever they hear it, it's like so beautiful, so nice. And we did a video for it.
What's the name of that song? How do people find it?
It's Sol, like Sol, just like
S-O-L,
sun, yeah,
like the beer.
No, like the sun, or the beer in Spanish. And it's globally published in Spotify. And it's so funny, and anybody Spanish-speaking person who listens to that song, they never complain like anything. They're like, oh, it's so beautiful. They're kind of like, they go into a shock a little bit, like, how I never heard of this song, but there's no promotion at the moment. So we tested a little bit, and that door is open too. And there's 600 million people in the world speaking Spanish, and they like music a lot more than Finnish.
Because with all this talent in Finland, I remember that even in the 90s, Stakabo, he commented,
exactly.
How come we have some seriously good in Sweden? I'm sorry to speak so much about Sweden.
No, but you're still doing.
We're in Hanken, the Swedish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's the closest neighbor, and they've done so well at exporting music. And I remember telling you that, come on, ABBA just translated their songs from Swedish to English, and they sung it in the worst Swinglish there is.
Money.
Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen. But anyway, but that's the thing, and even Finnish people buy this.
That was the thing. We have 50 years of music export, international export. And so what is required here, do you think?
I think it's happening already, and there's like bands like the Rasmus, who has not so much hype anymore in Finland, but they have in Venezuela. And they have in South America. And when you switch a country from Finland to wherever, you get like at least 50 million people more. Every time you change. So and there's so much possibilities there. The thing is actually only about the attitude. And then there's Apocalyptica and these Sonata Arcticas and lots of heavy bands that go abroad. There's weird stuff you can sell in Japan that comes from here, and they're always like, oh, from Finland, sorry. It's very interesting, but and I think it's more just about the courage and the realization that people are the same, and even more abroad, that you just open up your eyes and you go there and you meet people and you start doing. And then when you go to a bigger market, the mathematics are crushing in a way that you just get a little bit of wind under your wings in a way. And it's super possible.
Absolutely.
But then there's something that has been stopping us, maybe some shyness or something. But it's gone, I think, because there's a lot of people doing it, and there's lots of these young artists who wants to go abroad, and they do, and especially young producers who do music and they can just they call their affiliated record companies in Germany or in the United Kingdom or even the States. And they get a singer from there who's like a C or D level or whatever, but who can sing nicely, and they make a hit, and everybody wins.
Yes.
And then they get their production skills like straight up. Like the Antaudun album was like the main producer who made a couple of tracks also, but he was like
it's all surface.
Yeah.
But you've written your own songs.
Yeah.
No, but you have written them from your experience, and it comes from the right place, so to speak. It's genuine artistic.
In a way, yeah.
And
maybe in there I'm a little bit old-fashioned in a way.
But it seems to me that there is a lot of cynicism in the industry that you exactly just push buttons.
Yeah, exactly.
That you try to do whatever. A lot it seems. Especially at a popular level.
Exactly,
that you just try to second guess what is the market going to like, and let's push that.
But
you don't do that.
No,
and yet you're very popular. How do you get that?
Yeah, and there's something which I think I learned I'm not sure if it's like of life or of professionality, but just that you stop you need mathematics to realize what you're doing, because there's a lot of artists also who are so genuine and so authentic, and then they don't realize, they don't respect mathematics, they don't respect marketing, they don't respect commercial like ambitions in a way, which is stupid because they want to sing to people.
Yes.
What's wrong with 10,000 people coming to a show? What the fuck is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. There's the thing you want, but then you are somehow, you have these mixed emotions about it, or like maybe if they take a big picture of me and put it into a forum like the shopping mall wall, that's embarrassing. I'm like, what do you want to be a star? No, I want to be a small star or something like this size or that size. It's like that they make these boundaries by themselves, and then they get angry of things that they don't realize, that like you get angry for big record companies, like, and I've gone through that road so much, and I always realize when I get like anxious about it, or I've gotten these mixed emotions, or I get angry, like, yeah, they just do that fucking pop shit and nah. Then you look at yourself in the mirror and you look, and you don't look intelligent, man. You don't look so clever there. You're like, you're whining. I mean, why are you whining? If you're so good, why don't you just prove you're so good? Yeah. And then there's the part of mathematics that you have to respect, and you have to respect the audience in a way, and you have to make a good compromise. You have to make a good combination of things. You want people, but to hear nice music, to have for the music, that's my like holy mission, is to, the music has to bring you rhythm, it has to bring you hope, some melodies, some love, you know, some excitement in some ways, but then you have to respect that people are listening to it while they're dishing, while they're driving car, while they're working in offices, while they're whatever, or having sex with not you. I mean, like you have to exclude yourself in there, like in many ways, and you have to realize that it has to be a product. Also, because it has to be, and they have to control it. You have to give them the control. You have to release the music in a way. You can be indie artist, you can sing at home and make so much beautiful records into a hard drive and never give them to anybody. Then you can be like a totally authentic, super genuine master of all music, and so clever and wise, but by yourself in your ivory tower in a way. Yes. But to like, you have to find the audience. You have to respect them. You have to give them something. And you have to be confident about it. You have to, and I mean, I don't want to meet all the 10,000 people. It doesn't mean that. No. You shouldn't. And that's mathematics. That you have to respect. You have no time for that. You should be making music or raising kids, whatever you do at your free time. Like I have some of it maybe, when I allow myself to have it. But to make the nice combination about it and stop whining and realize that. And there's like Frank Zappa I just saw some quick interview where he's saying about when all that hip stuff was released, like maybe 70s or 60s. Yeah. I'm not sure about the correct but this, and also this is like a bigger picture thing. But Frank Zappa was just saying that the old fat like cigar smoking farts were the best executives for the companies, because they got the music from the artists. They're like, I don't know. Let's release it, and if it sells, it's okay. Yeah. And if it doesn't, go home. And they respect the phenomenon. They respect the audience and the artist by being fat guys who just take the 20 or 50 or 60% or whatever. Yeah. But they let it happen. Yeah. And then there comes the hip producers who are so hip. Yeah. And then they don't let anything. Know. Yeah, exactly. And then they don't let anything through anymore. And they say like, what should people be listening? And that's wrong. There should be just fat guys who want to make money, because that's mecenating, or that's like it's giving. I don't know if mecenating is a word in English. But
like to be a mecenate.
Yeah, to be a mecenate,
to sponsor.
Yeah, to sponsor the phenomenon for the cool kids and for the cool artists. Just to like, I don't know what's the phenomenon, because I'm a fat guy with a cigar. Yeah, I leave the artistry for the artist. And the audience can decide by their money. So this, and we all need each other in this world, and there is no like a holy place. And it's super nice that artists can have political power, or politicians can play saxophone and be the black president or whatever they want to do. I mean, the combinations are beautiful, but we are all human and we need all that stuff. We need a bus driver, we need a singer, we need a president, we need whatever. Of course, there's lots of jobs that should be just thrown away. I mean, in a way, like what we can, and we're dealing with that as a humankind. But altogether, the big picture, it's good to have everyone there. Like if you need a nice hair, don't ask your friend, ask a barber. Or if you need a nice suit, don't ask your friend, ask a suit guy. Like ask for a suit sponsor. And then there's lots of people who just, live in that small box and can't realize and then they kind of, and for me, I feel that I just got enough courage suddenly to become popular.
Yeah.
That I stop the whining and start doing the shit properly.
Yeah.
And making it like, and then I realized I'm listening to Justin Bieber. Why the fuck am I saying anything bad about Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
Ever.
Have you?
No, and I have earlier, but now I listen to him like every fucking day.
Well, the last album must have shut a lot of people
exactly,
up.
Exactly. And,
If they're genuine.
Exactly. And then there's some tracks earlier on already, and somehow I broadened my mind so much suddenly.
I think he's very genuine.
Yeah, he is, and I mean, you should look at these phenomena in music and stuff. Why are you so angry? Why are you so filled with all this? What's your problem? Your input is zero. Your output is shit. Why don't you just shut up and try to find something you like?
Who are you talking about now?
I mean, me also earlier, and
okay.
like everyone in a way that.
But is it critics or is it?
As a critic, I mean, like people should.
Audience.
Yeah, and exactly, and people who would love to listen to like really cheesy love songs. Yeah. They can't allow themselves because they have this I'm a man or I'm a whatever. Yeah. Even cool girls do it, and I think it's so silly because it's just superhuman emotions that should be allowed to happen, and then trying to be, and you can be like, there's so much like so much different streams of that going, like you're so cool that you can listen to this cheesy stuff but not that cheesy stuff. Yeah. So it can go like super super narrow the way of thinking, and I somehow broke that totally and opened the game and realized also that pop music can be any kind of music.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you get the popularity, if you find your audience, and your character and your charisma like takes them and they trust you and they love you unconditionally in a way, which is super good and which is easy because it gives you space as an artist. Then you just bring the song. It can be reggae, house, techno, EDM, rock and roll, like funk, folk, or rap.
What's your combination out of those? How would you describe it?
At the moment, I feel
I find it difficult to find a specific genre for you.
Exactly.
Of course, the cop out is to say it's pop. I don't know if it was it G-Eazy, do you know the rapper? He said that he was a combination of was Frank? Maybe I can remember there were three, but I can only remember the two. But he said that it was a combination of Drake and Johnny Cash.
It's always funny when somebody tries to.
And who's the third? Yeah. But I mean, you hear writers often saying that I'm a combination. Like we had a previous writer here. He said he was a combination of Hemingway, Hamsun, Norwegian writer, and Ernst Jünger, German writer. Yeah.
But I think that's always a fun game, and then you can imagine like manga monster or some Japanese character from or a Pokemon, with all this. Yeah.
What do you
But this is something I would like because I think it would be like Drake.
Okay.
And then there should be like maybe Disclosure is one.
Oh the British EDM.
Yeah. And I love the UK sound a lot. With Jaakko Salovaara, the JS16, who's also in the Darude Sandstorm, one of the producers. Disclosure, Drake. And then to make a really funny Pokemon, I would put Katy Perry there. Or somebody something so pink and soft and lovely.
When did you reach that point when you realized that that confirmed to you?
I think like a couple of years ago, just before this hype started, when I made this new deal, I realized that there's something stopping me, there's something blocking me, something not me telling me what to do to be me, and I realized that it's shit, that it's a wrong idea, it's like a misunderstanding, and something that you realize like when you sing a pop tune in your shower and you're like, why am I doing this in stage? Why am I on stage? I'm like so cool and
Was there like a moment?
I think there was like it was like a week or two or a month, and everything changed after that. To get forward, I just realized somehow that these tools I have, they cannot take me only this far. Yes. And now I've reached the end of the line. I don't like what my friends are telling me about music at all. I'm like, I have to change my friends and I have to find the music in a way.
So just clarify, do you mean that you found kind of a genuine or artistic voice that you followed? Yeah, exactly. That you had the guts to follow it?
Exactly, yeah. And it has to do with courage and courage to be like like a
Courage.
yeah, courage to be the like a big guy or an idol or a big artist, a pop artist, to realize that it's not, you don't have to, you just have to be better.
Yes.
And to admit your mistakes and just swallow your shit,
Yeah.
like completely and admit your mistakes. It's some kind of a weird
So there
moment.
was this sort of eureka.
Yeah, there was
moment.
exactly, there was a complete eureka moment. And after that, everything has been like all the time, the next step is all the time better. And
Where
you get
were
to-
you? Could you?
I was in
remember?
Helsinki. I think we reached the end of it was somehow like I did one album and it didn't go so well. It didn't go to the top 50 at all. Not this album I did after this Eureka, like I have to 1.5 years after it.
Yes.
It went to #1 when it was released,
Yeah.
like straight off. And I've never been in that situation where
Okay.
you open the page and you're like, I mean the internet page, you open it like, not like this, not like this. But you open the page and you start scrolling like, where's the list? Was it? Whoa, #1.
Okay.
There's no list. There's no list no more to find yourself. You're on top of it. So
Okay.
kind of like, and I was dazzled because it was, and now it went back up to 3 and was released
And
6
what
months
did that
ago.
tell you then?
It told me like that I'm on the right path.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So that
Because
you're relaxed. Or?
yeah, and it gives you relaxment. It gives you so much happiness, and also the thing I think you should have. I'm not sure if it's a Christian behavioral cultural thing, but the gratitude for the people that they find it, and to yourself also that you succeed to do good shit, because there's lots of bad shit going around. You shouldn't do that. We should all, as a mankind, I think we should start taking the bad shit down a little, in all areas, in business, in music, in culture, in love, in life. But then it was like that after that first album, I felt so disappointed, and I started hating the kind of like that's the feeling that you're pushing.
You're on ANOW not just because you're an interesting artist. Of course, we're interested in culture, but also because you're a smart guy.
Yeah, thanks.
And you're an
Mama, I made it.
No, but you are genuinely an interesting, intelligent
Nice, thank you.
man.
I think you are too.
Thank you. And you've struck me as such, and it's not a secret in Finland that you have kind of you have a cultivated background. You come from a family, an artistic family. Your grandmother is a known known artist, and your sister is also talented. Who you've worked with. She's a very good singer.
Yeah, she was hip and pop in 2000, I think, or 2003, something like that. Yeah. Which is funny because I think there's so many families in Finland that had two like top 10 pop artists in the same siblings in the family. I've been thinking that maybe this is a record of some kind also.
That could be a record.
Yeah.
A bit like Kingsley Amis and Martin Amis,
Yeah,
the father and the son,
Yeah.
But does this give some sort of comfort or
not sure.
confidence, or does it create pressure?
It can create a pressure a little bit, but then after this enlightening moment, everything becomes a richness in a way. And when you're a kid, when you're a teenager, there's a lot of things. And I've been in a theater family, and luckily I'm not a son of an actor, but a son of a scenograph.
Okay.
So it's more from the behind the curtains.
I see.
Which is nice. And then I've been doing the movie stuff since I was 2.5 years old because of my mom. Because somebody asked the scenographic person that, how do you call it? It's a scenograph, yeah.
Yeah.
The scenographer.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Ooh, my pronunciation is getting better. But this is a good practice. But still, somebody asked, anybody has a kid like 2 or 3 years, we need someone in the family of this TV movie.
Another word is set designer.
Yeah, set design. Yeah, in movies, yeah. And then she said, I think Reino could do it. And then I had a line in there, and there was my favorite food, and I should say I'm not eating. And so there was acting there, because and even in that first role, if I can get an ice cream later, I can say I'm not eating that, because I would fucking love to eat that. I wasn't cursing, but anyway. But it's kind of like, for me, it has always been a huge possibility, because I know all the people in the industry for many years, and I know history of this. there's a lot of things that I don't like about the arts we produce, especially in movie biz. But then there's a lot of people who I love, and there's a lot of good stuff,
Yes.
and lots of things that I've gotten straight off, like for free. Of course, acting like as since a kid, all the time doing TV movies. Every year I had a few, and then later on I had like a peak for that career too, with bigger movies and stuff. And still they respect me as an actor a lot. And actually they gave me some small roles, and then they realized we can give him small roles, but he's not popular. But now they're calling again.
Yes.
But anyway, it's like there's a lot of things I learned from there, and that's also a reason why I felt I don't have to go to schools anymore, because
Sure.
I know the people and I can arrange a party and just do a DJ show and make a couple of hundred there or whatever later on. And this is like something that is resources and lots of like real life lessons that you can get from any schools to know what can be done or what can't be done, and kind of like but then maybe teenage years I had a pressure of it and a little bit, and there was some kind of like and I was always saying like, I'm not a star, I'm just an actor, and if I'm not an actor if I don't have a role, and trying to be so super genuine and super like humble, but then being such a prick all the time, like teenagers are, I guess, and young men. Yeah, I mean, even though they say like, yeah, I'm just doing my job, they know they're doing a better job than the other, and that's what they're thinking in a way, or whatever. But for me, it's always been like, which is fun. Then now later on, like after 30 years, 30 age of 30, I've been thinking all that is a part of me, and I'm from a cultural family, and then if you go through my family tree, that comes from different kind of. It has always been like a Renaissance family in a way. Like there's lots of stuff there. We have Norway, Sweden, Germany, Russia, and like lots of non-Finnish stuff. And then when you seek the people, there were violinists from Norwegian, like. The mountains side, they're like crazy violin player family was one of the, and I'm like, I can recognize that. And then there's some like animal veterinarians, what is it, animal dogs,
vets,
lots of vets, and then architects, and then there has been like really like there's some people who built the Kaivopuisto, the big park in Eira, and then Osuuspankki.
Björnparken.
Yeah. And no, Björnparken is Karhupuisto.
Oh yeah.
Karhupuisto is different. It's in Kallio, but Kaivopuisto is what is it called? Is it no? But it's a anyway.
Kaivo means.
Kaivo is a well, but it's
Brunnsparken.
Yeah, Brunnsparken. Yeah. No, not Björnparken. That's Karhupuisto.
You mentioned that someone, was it perhaps your grandmother?
Yeah.
Said that you were a Renaissance man.
Yeah, she said that.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, but
the context of why she said that?
Yeah, I don't know. She Outi Heiskanen, which is the famous art graphic artist.
Big white.
Yeah, like still people coming to tell me all the time, like I have 5 of her graphics at my walls. And
she makes lithographies.
Lithographies, yes, and she's completely crazy, especially nowadays because she's super old. So no, not super, but 80. So she doesn't even
crazy in a good way.
In a good way, and now the last of her like shyness, or if there was any, is gone, because now she's like just crazy in a super good way. Still, my beloved grandmother, but it's like she loves the way how I never went to, in a secret way. I think she can't say it out loud, but she loves it that I never went to ask anybody about anything, and then still I learn a lot of stuff, and I do a lot of how to say, amateur stuff and thinking, and she's a big Zen Buddhist fan in a way. Like she's met Dalai Lama like 4 times or something.
Wow.
And like she has a weird connection to Tibet, which I always like really like felt good about, or in some way, I don't know why. And because it's a spiritual thing, I guess, and in a like a non-Christian thing, and that is based on arguments and philosophy more, and somehow she appreciates the way I've created a career, and and always been like running some game of my own, and really like widespreadly, that you can know something about science, you can know something about biology, you can know a little bit of religions, you have social skills, you like popular culture, but you like also art history, or you like that you combine things, and then if you feel ill, you don't go to a doctor, you go to the internet and you go to really specific stuff, and then you go to the doctor like, hey, is it so then?
Yes,
in a way, like,
doctors are of course very pleased about
yeah,
that
they're super mad about it. Yeah,
they love it. You mentioned that you learned to sing. You didn't go to formal training.
No. 15 years ago, I couldn't sing shit. I mean, I've had the ear for how do you call it in English? The ear for the music, like that you.
Pitch perfect.
In a way, yeah. Not pitch perfect, but pitch okay.
Okay.
Like all my life, I've heard, and I've been singing Beatles and even Nirvanas and whatever pop I used to listen to as a kid. Which is funny when we go back a little bit to the pop, because I used to listen to pop when I was a kid, and whatever it was, Nirvana or Blur or Prodigies or whatever, and in the 80s also from the music TV like Michael Jackson's or whatever, Guns N' Roses, and it was pop music, and then suddenly I became like a really cool reggae artist who's doing this underground shit, and then I found myself again in a way. There was proof from my childhood that I like regular music. There's nothing super like suspicious about it. It's, and I should release that guy. But anyway, I know now I've always had the like pitch okay in me, and kind of some kind of a realization of music, because my father, he gave us a guitar already. Siri was like maybe 5 and I was 3 or 6 and 3, whatever it was, but because we have 2.5 years, so sometimes she was 3 years older, sometimes she was 2 years older. Right. In numbers, and when you're a kid, that's super important. But anyway, and he gave us guitar and also drums and stuff, and we had a piano at home as a kid. So I've always been interested, and there was like 5 to 10 years I could only play Wild Thing with guitar, which just has the easiest chords, and then Siri would get better, and I was still playing the Wild Thing, and I was like super annoyed. And then I went to drums because I was thinking, fuck the melodies, that I'll just keep to the banging. But but always I've been secretly learning it. But then I didn't have any voice to. I've been doing movies. I had a voice. I had a control of my voice. Yeah. and especially I love to do like overdubbings after you've done something, and then you have to record it again, and watch the mouth and the emotions and do it again, and then also like testing secretly. And then as a teenager I started buying like computer stuff and started composing secretly again. But then I never had the courage to open my mouth, and then. So when I did, it sounded horrible, and still I went on, like just practicing and believing like super blindly into this singer in me. Yeah. And now suddenly people are like, your voice is something so specifically nice, and and I'm like, I didn't used to have it, but now I do.
So you have a perfectionist in you.
Yeah, also, and I did have even more, and I think I still do, and especially in the singing, I wanted to become so fucking good that nobody could come and say, you never went to singing school, did you? I can see, and in anything you do, I think I hate.
Have you been accused of that?
No, never.
Okay, we are now opening up for this possibility to explore by other media.
Yeah, exactly.
But you mentioned that you taught yourself by imitating or following especially the Jamaicans.
Yeah, because they have.
Who were they?
There was this Alton Ellis, Cornel Campbell, and then maybe a little bit Slim Smith, and this kind of. Really like weird, like dancehall lovers to. First it was rock steady, then came the lover stuff and the dancehall stuff and rockers style. And there's this kind of Jamaican. I know so much about it, and not a lot, but much more than a regular Finnish kid should ever, in a way. But of these eras of singers. And
how did they teach you?
In a way, there was some weird culture in Jamaica about the singers, and they idolized them a lot. Yeah. And the singers are also like super connected to like politics in a way, or to local certain eras, a local culture. And somehow I really felt for that, and like somehow felt it was so beautiful. And then that if you had a golden voice, you could be like a superstar or something. There it was so interesting. Yeah. And then as a empathetic guy as I am, I really fell for that lover stuff. And Alton Ellis is like godfather of lovers, they say. and or godfather of whatever reggae in that, like the lovely music. And then they have like high falsetto singings and this kind of like really like beautiful stuff. And then it was better for me than the dance hall. This kind of like styles. And then they're so different.
Good to have in the background as a featured artist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then but this is maybe the thing in the Jamaican field, that there are so many voices that you can kind of like pick a style in a way. And they call these like high pitched singers. They call them like kookaroos or something like. They have a certain word for even them. Like Cornel Campbell is one of them, which is fun. Like maybe 7 years ago in Flow Festival, he had a show and we were warming up for him, and he was my Jamaican singing idol. And
did you tell him?
No, and I did, and I was like, whoa, man! And he was still singing the same tracks that we used to listen to in like 2004 or something, and it was like. It was super, and the tracks are from 79 or 84 or whatever, like from eras that we can't touch because we were just shitting our pants or not born. So it was super beautiful for me. And then he was like, "Yeah, you have a nice voice," and he could hear our Finnish reggae toasting stuff. And I used to do a lot of freestyle stuff that you just have a Jamaican rhythm, and then I just sing in Finnish in a weird like. Master of ceremony style. Yes, totally invented from the air.
But so you have this perfectionism, and you have the ability to learn by yourself, and a willingness to do it.
Yeah.
You said something very interesting there, because I mean I recognize that perhaps that's true for many artists, but that you have an incredible energy.
I mean, I think you should.
You are an intense person. Am I right in saying?
I think that's why many people are a little bit afraid of me.
You're socially intense person, and you said something interesting to me that you are. You know, to some extent, you're using your fame so that you can break a barrier. Socially quicker, so you can reach people quicker. Can you say a bit more about that?
Yeah, and maybe it's about the influence. Maybe it's the same now when I go back to the last thought about the Jamaican, even the power that you get with the golden voice.
Yes,
it's like to you know, because there's a lot of people not thinking about anything because they're dishing, they're listening to radio. But then to be a popular artist, I love to at least to give them hope. I'm not having any high hopes on they would get enlightened because of my music or whatever fucking stupid, silly shit in a way. Sorry for the language, but I mean, pardon my French, they said. But I mean, like some kind of a connection and at least a moment of melody, a moment of feeling of rhythm or whatever, to like, and that's it's a responsible job, or it's a job with a huge responsibility, I think, like to be in everybody's radio all the time.
Yes.
And to make it good and to make it like, it's like, I don't know, something that they can take and get something of in a way.
Yes.
It's like.
But when you meet in person as well, you are not, you're not sitting on a high horse.
Yeah, exactly.
You're really quite down to earth, and you're talking to anyone, and you don't. You seem to be.
I talk a lot to anyone, and many of them get scared immediately.
Slightly unrestrained. Not in a bad way, but you're
actually totally unrestrained.
But you're very open.
Yes, I am.
And that seems to me to be a mark of someone who is has a lot of. You're like high octane. Level, you know. And intense, and you have a lot to say, and you have, you know, you're clearly a very intelligent person, but also something very unfinished. So this
and it's something that as a kid I remember I used to go.
Have you battled with that aspect?
Yes, all my life, and I used to hate it as a kid because Finland was so quiet in the 80s, end of the 80s and 90s when I'm like 7, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11.
But you still strike a very unusual figure.
And
in 2017.
And it hasn't changed enough for my at least if you ask me.
Yes.
I mean, and then they might say like we are like this. I'm like everybody can change, motherfucker. I mean, you know, you should change.
Yeah.
If you're like, because anti-sociality, like this kind of like shyness, and it's stagnating. It's making us slow. It's making us lose a lot of time from precious life in a way. And I used to do this as a 7-year-old or as a 10-year-old, that I had my money from some whatever TV series or whatever I was doing, and I went to a music shop and I bought like a mouth organ, how to call it, like a harmonica. This.
A harmonica.
Yeah, like small harmonicas or these Jewish harps. And I used to go to a number 3 tram that used to go around like Helsinki. And I went to the back and I just took a nice position and just observe people like how does it work. And then there's somebody who get like, what is this horrible noise? And then there's somebody who's like, what the fuck is happening? Like they flip totally. And then there's some like usually young people and the girls. And they was like, what? Oh, there's a cute little boy playing a harmonica in the back. And like just, jamming.
7 years old.
Yeah, like 8, 7. And I was so free as a kid already. I mean, my mother was like, when I was 10 or 11, she bought me a beeper. And just beeper and a phone card, like, call me sometimes. And like I had my kid fucking running around Kallio, Helsinki, and nobody gives a shit. And then he could not restrain me in any ways, because I was...
By the way, is that where you grew up, Kallio?
Yeah, Kallio, yeah. And I used to be such that if she said like you should do something, I'm like, yeah. And then I went out of the door and just vanished. And I had like lots of freedom. And I used my freedom for this. This is what I did. I used to practice music and then later on to start to like play on the streets. But it was like a crazy time in a way. First it was just smoking cigarettes and just fucking around.
As a 7-year-old?
As a 9-year-old. No, I started, oh yes I did. No, 9-year-old I started smoking. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Mom. And smoking pot at fucking 13, 12 or something. So, but
that happened, I'm sure, to many people.
It happens, and a lot of people get through it, and a lot of people don't. It might be, but I think the main reason for all this is the boredom that we keep our kids in.
So, I mean, this is an interesting part of doing what you're doing, which is actually standing on stage in front of sometimes 10,000 people.
Yeah.
There must be, most people won't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And won't like being
There's a lot of people who are like,
so
how can you go there? And I'm like,
yes,
it's my job. I like singing. And it is scary. It's super scary. And therefore I think that the amount of drugs and like, how to say, is it depressants? That people use to take control of the fear, because it is horrible fear that you feel.
Antidepressive,
or whatever. Yeah. In a way, I mean, but I mean, actually, just like altogether, all medicine you can use to get the courage to go there in a way. Whatever it is, cigarettes or booze and like in the music, just players culture. I remember so everybody was like, before you go on stage, you have to take jallu, which is like a 4 centiliter of Finnish lousy cognac.
Yeah.
And then I learned that culture, and I lived through it for 10, 12 years at least. And then sometimes I start thinking like, what does this help?
Yes.
Because actually it slows my fingers down and it makes me dizzy, and it's alcohol. And does alcohol help with fear? That's some kind of a Finnish belief also, I think.
Did you experience fear? Yeah,
of course, and the excitement about it. I have to go there to play drums or to sing or to play bass. I've been doing like lots of instruments in bands. And there's always, and there should be some kind of, I don't know if there should, actually I'm talking shit now, because maybe there should not be any fear. If you know what you're doing, maybe you should just, if you control your fear, there is no fear. People are like, you're not doing the right thing if you're not a little bit afraid. And that's bullshit, man. I mean, you can be excited, and I don't know the methods. And this is something of the new me I've found. That there's so much bullshit. You talk to yourself like, I need the jallu, or I need a spliff, or I need a line of coke to go there to get high, to be like the superstar. Actually, you need skills, and you need fear control skills. You need you need a singing voice. You need water to keep your system fluid, that you can and also you need to stretch out. If you want to make some moves without hurting yourself. It's actually like professional sports. And they shouldn't. At least they say they don't take anything, but of course sometimes they do. But I mean, there's so much of false beliefs in there, I think. And something that, I mean, and also it's so like invigorating, empowering to realize now later on, after all this like fuss I've been doing and years of smoking weed and years of doing coke and stuff. And I mean, and you think you control. Everybody can see that has any experience of life can see what you've been doing at the evening when they see you and your eyes and your chin going like this or whatever. But it's so empowering to realize that that you don't need any of that.
Yeah.
And I've been doing my biggest shows totally sober, and there's more coming, and I'm like, yeah, keep it coming. And actually, the stress levels are gone, and I should be like a ex-addict, ex-cigarette smoker, ex-alcoholic, who should be like this on stage now. But no, I'm better, I'm faster, I'm clearer, I'm like sharper. So
I don't care about the morals here. I'm a little bit more asking.
But this is what I mean. The system is working better without the things that we think that help in a way. But there is something that you seek from, and it's super cultural about getting high. And then also people who go watch a show, they take the drugs to get into the mood or whatever. And actually, if they just go to the mood, it would be more, how to say, more maybe sustainable, not in an ecological way, but sustainable emotionally.
Yes.
The high would be stronger. And this is something a lot of people misunderstand, I think. Yeah.
But maybe also you could take it, you have a strong constitution.
Yeah.
You're perhaps built like more athletic.
True. Yeah.
But let me ask you this, because, I mean, a related question, I presume, is what is your fuel? What drives you?
Yeah.
And is it somehow related to, let's call it, the high?
Yeah.
Is there something that is similar to getting high on coke,
maybe,
to being on stage?
Yeah, but this is something that I think I have built also, is that the fuel has always been the music and the search of higher conscious or higher higher skills, of course, but then like some kind of noble cause in there, and the love and the love for the music, the love for the people, the love for the moment of giving, like doing the moves and singing the high tones like pitch perfect and hitting the note so nicely, and you know, this is something that I realize also that that's the thing that saves you from everything. That also teaches you that the holy quest for something bigger in a way, or something, and always bigger and always better. And it's the same fuel, like, and that's where you learn. You're like, hey, there's a big stage and there's a microphone. I want to go there, and then you go there, and then you might not do it so good, but you learn. Yeah. And then it's the driving force, and then and also it saves you from complete many of the cultural warriors. I think they fall in the battle against alcohol, against drugs, because they are chemical things, and they destroy your body, they destroy your voice, they destroy your thoughts, they destroy your agenda in a way. But something that saved, I think, our Bohemian family already was the love and the love for science.
And that's those people that you mentioned.
Yeah, and exactly, my family as a kid, how my mother kept it together, whether she said that you could do wrong stuff, but you have to tell me, and you can do whatever, and I will always love you.
Sounds like you come from a Jewish family.
It's maybe, yeah. funny, but the thing is that if you have the love, and if you keep that as the highest note and as the highest law, is that you have to have love, you have to have and you have to have somehow a compassionate and intelligent mind that will protect you. You don't need armors, or you don't need good schools, or you don't need a safe area to live in. If you have the love and the intelligence, and you learn your skills, and when you need to run, you know how to run also, if there's some really bad shit going on, or somebody has a gun or whatever. But you'll learn what to do. You'll learn the right thing if you keep that as the highest quest and the fuel also. That you have love, to have interest, to have somewhere to go, to have something to want, and that's how you learn, and then you get better, and your love gets bigger, and your quests gets bigger, and there's no end to that. It's just a never-ending fuel silo.
But is it a question of thrill, adrenaline? Is there something like
this? Is the thing, but this I think is more for the drugs, the thrill and the adrenaline, and maybe for quick wins in a way. If you want fucking stoned, or you know, or you want to get so like, but then that's
or after
or
an
after a
hour's
show,
performance,
exactly,
you get the same feeling.
Yeah, but exactly the thing is that the biggest thrill is something even bigger. It's something that you are like, and when you do your thing like sober, like I finally do it, which is something I realize I've been dreaming of.
Right.
And then I realize I'm going deeper and deeper into the fucking trap hole in a way, or the trap house, you know, and I'm trying to be hypocritic here, but to really like. When you get this, the good thrill is when you're just a tool there. You just open your voice and you're kind of like part of the audience and part of the moment, and the thrill is something much deeper, and you kind of you get so, and then happiness is one of one part of the thrill, and of course the moment is exciting or whatever, people are shouting and it hurts so good in a way. And you get a lot from it, and I feel like crying many times this summer when I done shows where people start shouting your song, like, and you can't fucking sing, you can't hear the PA system anymore because they're shouting the song. Yeah, exactly. And you get so happy about it, and you're like you get goosebumps, and it's super good. But then altogether, the best thing is something that lasts for the next day, and somehow like. That's something that I'm seeking really, and something that it means something, that you, and that people also get something, that I hate going there to get a thrill for myself. And that's something that the drugs are doing. That's like self-medication. That you can get from drugs, but to get some real thrills, or to get some real success in the quest for the intelligence and for the love, the fuel that is driving me in a way. The real thrill is to get people to be more open, to be more loving, to dance, whatever, just to lose their shit for a while.
Is it something like, I've been interested in the idea of DJ culture.
Yeah.
You know, DJs never dance. And it's boring to hang out with them.
Yeah, it is.
Because you go to, and they'll stand there and look pretty much. And I think,
it might be like,
and my layman's analysis is simply, well, they are kind of thinking of themselves as directors of the dance floor. And they want to puppeteer.
Yeah, exactly.
Master the show.
Which is,
I
there
think, something
which is a little bit
an
annoying.
artist. It's annoying, but you can understand it.
They're
creators of the experience that they're doing.
Especially if they do a lot of it, then they're never gone to dancing. That's
so
why
they can't be subjects of their own show. In a sense, there is a mindset. Is there something similar to that here?
No, in a way, yes, but then. And being especially being a singer, and when you sing your songs, it's complete puppeteering in a way that you drop your lines, and I change them a lot. I do a lot of freestyle still.
Yeah.
And like if I'm somewhere, I put the name of the city into the song just in a stupid spot,
and
then I might laugh about it.
Funny stuff on Instagram as well.
Yeah, crazy shit. I try to go there because I think it's nicely breaking the too clean.
No, but I've laughed at a few things you've done there.
That's nice. Yeah. But then it's like. But then still, I would love to dance better. I would love to learn to dance better, because that's something you can do on stage, and it excites people to dance too. And that's like something. And also you let yourself go there into the dance, and then you can get people dancing more and to do moves there.
So you'll be the first Finnish male artist dancing on stage?
No, actually Antti Tuisku is doing that a lot. Second, yeah. But he was an Idols winner. They had a request for
Finnish
that.
men don't kiss, hold hands, or dance.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do all that on stage. I have this song Kosketa, which is like touch me. Yeah.
What's a cultural warrior? That's an interesting expression.
I don't know. I think it's for me because I don't have a title, because I'm too Renaissance, like too widespread. I try to be a cultural warrior, maybe a war is the wrong word, but maybe that comes from the childhood that I had, or from the angst and from the like. And there must be some radicalism to develop, to find new ways and something. But cultural warrior is somebody protecting culture in a way, and also attacking like enemies of culture and free speech and free thought and something. Maybe it's and I think it's an old hobby we've been doing since Greece theater times or something, ancient Greece.
You care about Finland.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And you care about Finnish culture.
Yes, I do. And at some point, I felt like I'm not at all Finnish, but then I realized I am, and there's lots of the weird Finnish stuff in me. But maybe I'm just a little bit different Finnish. But then Finland is a tribal country. We have lots of tribes in here. Yeah. I learned to love them a lot. And especially when you go around a lot, I used to be so like, yeah, there's nothing nowhere, or like they're fucking hillbillies here and there, and they are a lot. But then there's lots of lovely people also. So yeah.
But you've been a bit outspoken about that.
Yeah.
You've mentioned a few of these reality TV.
Yeah, this drama, this Salatut element. Yeah. I'm still gonna say to the camera, Salatut element is a shit series, man. We should quit it. Oh god! Oh, and even the camera guys. Yeah, please do it. But this is something that.
What's it? I've never. I might have seen it. But
it's just a lousy drama, and this is something that always people get me wrong, because I'm not criticizing people doing it, and this is something I also learned. Like, you should always say, don't criticize people, but art should be criticized. Yes. And if you don't like my songs, just tell me about it. And if your arguments are relevant, I might listen.
Yeah.
And I should listen, because I want to be better. And everybody should try to be better, but they have not tried to be better for now, what, 10 years? Yeah, and they're still doing it, and it's still the same zero quality stuff. I mean, text-wise, at least, and the actors might be this and that or better, but my thing is, I do only this and I do only that. I know a lot of those people, and they're just rounding up the same pile of shit. They have never changed the pile, in a way, and the quality is horrible. And as a cultural warrior, I am really concerned of the quality. Yeah, no, in a way. But this as an actor, I got really frustrated about the quality of text altogether. And then suddenly, when I was thinking, like, now I get to make new movies and I get a little bit popular and become a real actor in the scene and grow up, and maybe I can do like big movies and with really intelligent, like deep philosophical or like nice thrillers or whatever, like just whatever it could be. I'm not a writer. I could not write one, so it's just an open criticism in a way, or an empty one, you could say also. But I was hoping that the development goes and we could be like Sweden, that at least we get something done and we can get like big hits.
Yes.
From a movie that is not only based on Finnish like exotic that they're funny, or something like something more intelligent, something creative, like something creatively rich and something original. But instead they're telling me, the producer, like, Salatut element is popular, so we have to do that.
Yes.
And then I remember when they made a movie with the same team of Salatut element, and then they come into the Oscars of Finland, this Jussi Gala.
Yes.
And the actors of the Salatut element, they just forgot to handshake the cultural minister. And then you're like, I'm sorry.
So just for non-Finnish audience, what you were cast?
Yeah, I mean, I was an actor. And I was not in that movie, but in movies general in that time.
Yes.
And then I was watching at the gala. I was not invited in there because I had no movies going that year. But then I saw this Salatut element stars, not shaking the cultural minister's hand, and I felt
did
really...
you comment?
No, I did not comment. Not that, but here I'm commenting, but I did a lot of other commenting, and I was pushing my Facebook like a real, like a troglodyte Finnish man would do, like they do. When we got Facebook, we were so excited. I can get my voice heard now, and nobody's listening. They push unfollow so fast. Yeah, but they've been loving me as this kind of like a rebel guy.
Yes.
But then it becomes a jail also. It becomes like a problem, because you shouldn't be rebel about anything. You should be intellectual.
Yes.
And this is something I've been aiming at. And then suddenly I put myself into this jail of this stupid shouter, or like.
You said that you shouldn't miss an opportunity to shut up.
Exactly.
What did you mean about that?
But this is something exactly I learned about, like, and especially if you want to be popular, if you want to compete with unintellectual stuff, you should not have an argument there, and also if you want to sell your record to 10,000 people, don't blame their like village or like how to say or what's the word, like don't roast them in a way, in a bad way, just because you feel like something or their gas station didn't have a cappuccino or something, Don't be an idiot there.
Where have you done that, where you think that maybe I crossed the line, if any?
I think I've done and I had a good reason to do it. There's always a noble reason.
Sure.
But then I was like, there was this one movie where I made like a big breakthrough that was called Hymypoika, which is like a bunch of kids shooting their sexual behavior or non-behavior, and then they wrote on the poster that this is the most important movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this funny thing because in Finland you say vuoden tärkein.
Yeah.
Tärkein is like the most important, but then törkein is like the most fucking like törkein is like the rudest or the nastiest in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And you just change the a to the and I said in an interview after the movie like half a year like that that they fucked up the promotion and they made and I felt bad about it. Of course it was a noble cause, but actually they got so angry. Of course the producers got so angry about me just opening my mouth like fuck that shit, man, that was annoying. And then they write this poster like this and then I said it's vuoden törkein elokuva, like it's just shit, you know. And I've always felt of all my movies, there's one exception is Rakkaudella Maire, which is a Veikko Aaltonen movie, which is a real movie. Yeah. And that I don't have to afterwards criticize anything or think, because the movie is solid. And there's like cinematographic scenes and it has a piece into it. It's an art piece in at least some kind. Yeah. And it stands in its own, like, how to say, stands in its own legs, or how to say, it's like it's a whole movie. It felt like and still feels like a real one. And all the others, they somehow feel like something that just comes up. And the fact is that they never pay the fucking writer enough, I think, and they don't think enough. And the think tanks are like full of air, and they still are. Yeah, and the think tanks in behind the movie. I mean, where they try to create the concept in a way. It's somehow. It's lacking intelligence. It's lacking respect of life. And
well, I look forward to sitting down and then doing kind of a Goodwill Hunting type of a project together with you.
Yeah, exactly, and this is something I want to get involved in. And now when I have this popularity, also
see you tomorrow. We'll have a meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this is something I'm really interested in. Yeah. It's just about, and this is something why I love the modern society, also especially in Finland now, is things are opening up, and there's this like grey business suits coming out that are like, anybody have any ideas? And I'm like, oh man, there's a guy asking, let's go. Yeah. And if you have the courage, you can go there and start doing. Yeah. And then you don't have to shout. You can get involved, and that's also one part of growing up, is to stop the fight and start doing better. Sure. If you have a criticism, just do
this.
Better,
all sounds very kosher and neat and all that. Yeah. But at the same time, I have a sort of a sneaking suspicion that there is something that is quite, on the flip side, it is sometimes useful to not take the opportunity to shut up. Exactly. Sometimes it can be useful to have been high on coke. And just have been a cokehead for a while. I mean, it might not.
Or a pothead, like
whatever.
Exactly. To be so chill and to be just, I don't give a fuck.
Because it gets
the same. Yeah, exactly.
It gets out there.
And if I have to be the messenger, and I have been, I'm also proud of that a little bit. Yeah, right. And in a way, but I would have done it also without the cokes and the pots, because that's how I actually am. I'm too honest, and that's something which is, I think, it is needed in the world. Yeah. And there's lots of this stagnation everywhere, and it's like growing up and becoming a bigger person. It's not about forgetting the past. It's also like learning, yes, to shut up in a certain point. Yes. But when you see your moment to be the fucking madman. Yeah. I love that moment, and I will use it. And it's something the world needs also. And many people are waiting for someone to say something. And then many, of course, are afraid of someone to say something. Yes. But to get forward, somebody has to say something, and maybe it's just that you learn to say something more intelligent. And when you attack maybe not with a blade, but with a pen. Right. And this is something I'm really still into. There is the rebel in me, and I'm not saying the world has just turned so marvelous. I have a Mercedes, I feel happy, so fuck you, well, because that would be stupid. Yeah. But you do have a Mercedes. Yeah, I do. Yes, a rental. and cool shades. Cool shades. Yes, like a pop star should. Yeah. And I love that. That's cool. Gold mirror. Yeah. But isn't there a bit of frustration involved here too? That to some extent, in order to say something intelligent that is genuinely meant as cultural critique, the only way to get through is to
play the rebel card or to play the radical
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
There's something about,
And it's always
there isn't
super
space for
yeah.
actual
And it's
commentary.
always super hard, and especially that's what I hated about the movies and the movie business. Like immediately when you open your mouth, everybody closed their doors and windows, and you're in the street by yourself.
Is there a
It's super sad.
confusion between critique proper
Yes.
and ranting?
Exactly. This is the thing. And Finland, the whole social culture is super like black and white, I think, in there.
Yes.
And super like polarized.
Yes.
That if somebody says, "Hey, listen," he's already mad.
Okay.
Like he's crazy. Everybody's like, it's too much. Or if he's playing like a harmonica in the tram. So this, I love the kind of. And maybe it comes from the freedom of the mind that you've been just hoping I could start, doing this shit. And when the Facebook came, I was loving it with capital letters and the humor and the crazy shit you could say and just not give a fuck about anything. But nowadays also the branding of your art and then these kind of like sponsorship things. And it's really, for many, and you see the bloggers and the YouTubers and that stuff, it's super interesting, but still, if you don't have the substance or if your sponsor don't fit you, there is still no free lunches.
Why is there a match, do you think, between you and your sponsors?
Yeah, but this is the thing. What I feel I've learned is like that Sand fits me better than Tiger of Sweden or Boss or anybody because they make business suits. Yeah. And I was trying to get them for years. I bought a couple and got a couple free. Yeah. And then I realized that I'm not a businessman in a way. I should not look like a businessman. No. I should look like a singer. I need flower shirts. Yeah. And then we were when this new rise came with the new deal, and a couple of years ago when I started building, we started looking like, well, let's make a deal with somebody, and then we found the Sand Copenhagen. With the Danes, yeah, I know. Yes. and
nothing wrong with the Danes.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the Danes. And then I realized
except for everything.
Speaking, he's Swedish. So
from Skåne.
Yeah, from Skåne. Yeah, exactly, which is an issue. But still, we realized that they have the most colorful like setting in the most colorful wardrobe and like a nice style that fits my music, fits my idea of what I want to be. Yeah. And that's when a sponsorship starts working because I still buy their clothes, which
so it's
is
not
funny.
So contrived. And
Exactly, and that you might buy it yourself. And I have, because I'm too anxious. I just walk to the store. I get a nice discount. Okay, that's nice, but I still put not too much money in there because I'm like super like impulsive with them. But then and same thing like with the car that you want now. The thing that I'm trying to get is like a leasing Tesla. Yeah. And I want to show that with the Tesla, it's not about like having a cool car and being a super cool fucking rapper or, just, from the hood or whatever, like having a big monster truck or whatever. If like not to use it for the ego, but for the image of going forward, of being from tomorrow, from the future to the future, like something like that. If you have this kind of popularity. It's just plant stuff there that is also interesting context in a way, or content in that, so that it fits in music and it fits the sponsor, that fits the audience, so it becomes a win-win-win situation. And they might even get people excited about electric cars or flower shirts. And like to fight the grayness or the black and white society, I wear a colorful shirt. That's a perfect like answer for that. Yeah. And it's something that I realized like that you should not just want free sneakers or want free anything, but to also to give them stuff and give them an image and same with the record company. There is no record company that can make you a big artist. You have to want to be that. And you have to fit the stuff. And then especially now when I'm an indie pop artist, I have to be the driver of the car in a way. I have to lead the thing, and I have to decide what kind of things we do. And there is no company who can bring. If you do it like with some specialists or stylists, they might bring completely wrong stuff, and they spoil your mood. And then the audience starts like, what's that now? And I've done a couple of that, and I've done a lot of shit through the early years of my career, and stupid, silly stuff that I look at now, and I'm like, what the fuck were we thinking? Like, why is this? And then it did not help the sponsor, it did not help me. The audience was like, if there was any, they were like, what is this? And also like TV series and concepts that are just completely shit that I've done. And I've done a lot of that. To learn that if you want a sponsor it has to sponsor like both ways, and it has to work, and it has to fit the image of the art you're trying to do. Otherwise, you're lost in the wilderness.
You love discussing.
I do it too much, man. We've been doing this 2 hours already.
But it's great having you here.
Yeah.
And I can.
Thank you.
I mean, you're not just talented; you're also smart and charming and charismatic.
Thanks.
And not just a cokehead.
No. I might have been like in a party once, but even when I was, I wasn't, because I through, and even if you know, because that's why I hate how I got this like shit in the fan, but afterwards it's super cool, because it gives me a right to talk about it.
Yeah.
It gives me also a right to maybe lecture about it later.
Yeah.
Gives me superpowers against kids who are doing it also. And maybe some like stupid like narrow-minded Christians got angry or like lost hope with me. But then what's better than doing the like I go to rehab and now I'm cool, and then you know go to a Christian festival, whatever, and sing I Surrender. Why not?
Yeah.
In a way, and I surrender to Jesus.
There's nothing like Russell Brand about you whatsoever.
Exactly. but Russell Brand is marvelous, I think, and in a way. Yeah, but he's super crazy, and there's a lot about. Yeah, there is. I mean, that was a joke, wasn't it?
It was a joke.
A lovely joke, because I've been a little bit admiring him. If you choose politics, you have 7 billion problems, and we should start creating better like mathematical algorithms to solve political problems. Because these colors we're using now are fucking horrible and spoiling the planet.
We might be needing to read a few more books too.
Exactly, true. yeah, exactly.
Reino, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Oh,
Thank you so much for coming on to ANOW. Welcome back.
Yeah,
I'll see you in a year with your next release.
Yeah, I'll try.
Thank you.
Thank you. Super.